ang pagbabago.
You can now listen to RJFM and DZRJ 810 AM from wherever you are. Just type in RJ 100.3 FM on TuneIn Radio, Streema, Radio Garden, and just type in RJFM for online box radio. For DZRJ 810 AM, just type in DZRJ 810 AM on TuneIn Radio, Streema, and Radio Garden. Happy listening! You are watching the multi-awarded Radio Bandido TV on Channel 224 Sky Cable and TV Plus boxes. Simulcast on DZRJ 810 AM. Informing, advising, and entertaining the Filipinos and OFWs around the world. Streaming live on www.facebook.com/DZRJ 810 AM or on YouTube, channel RJAM News. To all Teleradio Bandido viewers and listeners, you can now watch Teleradio Bandido on our new YouTube channel, RJAM News. Hit the subscribe button and like the video. Don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified when a new video gets uploaded. Don't miss out on our dynamite lineup.
All right. So hello, everyone. But before we go all in tonight, I'd like to bless everyone with every form of goodness everybody needs around the world. Okay. So only peace, kindness, prosperity, good health, and happiness to us all. So shine bright like a diamond. So that's my reminder to everyone. Okay. So I'm DJ Chin. And I'd like to welcome everyone to Good, Great, Unstoppable, the Francine de las Alas Show. We air live every Saturdays from 7 p.m. here from DZRJ 810 a.m. And you can also catch us at various TV Plus boxes channel and also, of course, our YouTube channel. That's RJ News PH. So don't forget to hit that subscribe button and also leave gentle, positive notes. Kumbaga, CLC positively, okay? So to those who tune in regularly, many blessings to you. All right? Many blessings to everyone. So we really, truly appreciate you. So anyway, last Saturday, there was a MOA heist. Who among you also got sucked into the MOA globe being stolen news last weekend? So raise your hand slowly because I am one of you guys. Okay. So I thought that it was actually, when I saw the statement, I thought that it was a Globe Telecom branch itself that got stolen. And it was actually, honestly, a head scratcher for me. So, but when as another MOA statement came out and a couple of memes, I couldn't help it. I just had to look at the news. I just had to look at the video about it. And I was still confused, but finally I saw that it wasn't the Globe Telecom branch that was being stolen. It was actually the MOA Globe. But okay, so let me just make a disclaimer. I also am just as confused as you guys. So I'm sure I don't know, or I don't know whether I'm gonna be sure or I'm gonna say I'm not sure if it is fake news or just a hoax. Okay, so but either way, whether it was the Globe Telecom branch that got stolen or the Globe itself, both are actually head scratchers. Right? So now, how do we know that we got sucked in? So one, of course, level of gullibility rated between 1 to 10, 10 being really very, very, very gullible. So I think mine was a 2 because it took me about maybe a day before I went and checked it out. Okay, so and I'm really glad that I'm not into chismis, diba? I'm not one of those Marites, Maricon, Maristela. So those funny Mari memes. Okay, so but of course, nevertheless, this level 2 gullibility led me to tell my husband about it. Okay, even my husband was wondering if it were real, but of course, my husband didn't really care. I also ended up telling my sibs when they came and dropped by last, I think, Saturday. I don't know. I think it was Sunday. Then finally, at the end of the day, I also told my son, and it was my son who told me that it is probably a fake. It is most likely fake news. Okay, the only saving grace I have for being level two gullible, right, is because I just don't like cheese. So it took me a day. So see, it's so nice when you're not a maristes. Anyway, so to this day, I really don't know if it's real. So if this, I never bothered to check again. I did see a Raptor article though, same I think last Sunday, with the editor's note that it was a promotional stunt for Red Notice release in Netflix. So if that is the case, I so love it. I mean, who would think of ideas like this, right? Kudos to that guy who's riding the motorbike and supposed to be took a video of a helicopter whisking the globe away. I didn't really see it. It was so dark, but he made everyone believe that it was really happening. So if anyone out there has confirmation if it is fake news or not, or anyone bothered to follow the story the whole week, please leave a comment and say it was just a promotional stunt or fake news. Okay, so maybe sort of like for my give closure to me. Just kidding. Anyway, you don't really have to bother. It was just really a fun and interesting stunt, promotional stunt, or fake news. I wish our fake news were just like that, right? I wish our fake news were not about hurting and each other, going below the belt, coming up with stories that shouldn't anymore be out there. I wish it was just really just fun, like meme like news. Okay, we need more of that, something to make us laugh all the time, but not to make us gullible all the time, something to just make us laugh. Okay, so that was a funny weekend last week. Anyway, so speaking of also what's been going on for since last week, the one thing that I also love, and it's also a great find, is the back support tool that I got online. So thanks to the 1111 promotional stunt. I mean, there's so many promotional stunts going on right now on when it comes to the net. So anyway, I missed my promotional stunt though at the class that I enrolled at. I paid full. I couldn't wait anymore. But anyway, so as you know, guys, I've been suffering from lower back pain, and it just kind of gets tedious at night and before waking up. So I've been sort of like a little tired the past few days, and I have to wait out the tiredness so that I can start the day. But anyway, so I've been suffering from this lower back pain, and so the last few weeks, and the only fortunate thing that has been happening is there are of course some gradual improvements. Like as I said, I can now bend, right, and I still have a hard time, bending my back while at or picking up something from the floor. I still have a hard time doing that. It's like my back is kind of frozen. But anyway, but I don't have that upper pelvic pain now, so I kind of experience upper pelvic pain that I experience when I get up from the bed. We actually use our when we're in a sitting position, we actually use our legs to push ourselves up. And if you have a lower back pain, you don't realize that those little things, unnoticeable movements or motions that your body can perform are actually big deals. Okay, so I don't anymore have that pain whenever I get up. So pretty much it's somewhere between 75% to 80% improvement. So there's a huge relief. It's just that so if anyone knows, right, what's been going on with my body, do let me know. Right, it's just that the nighttime, the nighttime or the nighttime, or as the day wears on, it just gets the nighttime gets harder, and the waking up, I don't know, maybe because gravity or the position that we are in whenever we are when we sleep. Also the relaxed position also is not good when you have lower back pain. But anyway, so I do like though the improvements because I now get to go to the gym. I just didn't go to the gym this week because somehow maybe my brain is sort of like I did go, but I only went twice instead of the 3 or 4 times. So I didn't want to flex my head because I was in between pain in the morning or tiredness in the morning, and also wanting to get into my schedule. But anyway, so but I got this. I was really thankful because I got this, what do you call that, a back support. So it's way back there. I wish I could show you. I got this back support where you can actually just lie down on it, and it arcs your back, but it also has this acupressure pokes that also hits the sore spot, of your muscle. So what I love about it is that after you can what I in the ad, it's just that it just shows one position. It's just in the middle of your back, and yeah, it's just in the middle of your back. But you can actually just adapt, adapt or do different, adjust it to different movements. That like what I do, so that you can get more benefit out of it. And because of those acupressure pokes, and at the same time the stretching of the spine, it really really gave me a lot of relief the whole day. And the first time that I actually used it, it took away my pagod. Okay. That was brought about my back pains, and I suddenly got my energy back. So I thought it was like I was a wind up toy. So largely I think because when you have strained back, it also leads to pure circulatory, pure circulatory, it also weakens your circulatory system. So maybe so after using this, I felt a whole lot better. So and then when I did read up, it does cause fatigue, a sort of like tiredness when you also have lower back pain. So you should watch out. What concerns me now though is that I'm not so I'm trying to the reason why I haven't gone to the doctors because I haven't found one that I will feel confident in, but I have been really searching. And the other reason is I would want to go I would prefer to go instead to a chiro and a physical therapist over an ortho now. But I think, but I'm just so those are the reasons. But I haven't found. Okay, so I haven't decided where I should go first. So, but I have been searching. I have been searching. So the thing is, because I've also been observing the kind of lower back pain that I have. It's sort of like I think it's bordering somewhere in the sciatica nerve. So I'm probably brought on by my age, and also at the same time by my workout. So I should maybe I will be what they call it. I will be advised to change my workout routine. Anyway, so that's the only reason. And but the thing is, one of because of that sciatica, I'm not sure if it's a sciatica pain or it's pinching a nerve. It has a sort of like I don't know, it's sort of like affecting also my left leg because sometimes my foot is sort of slightly swollen. So if you have anything, if you know anything about that, back pain and sort of like swelling, there's like a slight inflammation of the foot, the ankle part, but very, very slight. Okay. But I also sort of like feel like there's a circulation problem in my left leg. So if you know anything about that, just type that. Just give me your 2 cents worth and type it in the comment thread or the comment section of our live streaming. Okay. But anyway, this back support, you guys should try it. This is very, very affordable. It was only $113. Aside from that, I also got this egg sitter. So it's like a gel cushion also for the support of our spine. Okay, especially when you are especially useful for long sitting when you are in a work from home setup. Okay, so I'm happy that I felt normal most of the time. but I just have just a little bit of hassle trying to get up in the morning and getting into the untired mood. Okay, so anyway, I'm still, of course, maybe my self healing hit already that saturation point. Maybe the last 20% of needs really a medical practitioner to look at it. Okay, so anyway, if you are ever also suffering from back pain, I mean, if it's mild and it's not, it's not, if you don't think it's worrisome, but you also want immediate relief, right? Or that you can have your own home therapy at home, try getting that back support. Just type in these online shopping, what do you call that? What do you, shopping platforms? Is that what you call that? Shopping portals, and you know what they are. One starts with L, one starts with S. So just check that out. So I got that, only the back support, I got it only for 113. The egg sitter, I would recommend that you pair it also with that. Okay, so if you can, if anyway, if you're gonna get that back support, try to get two or three and strategically place it in areas where you are usually busy in. Okay, or two or three, so that you don't have to what do you call that, so that if any of your family members also want to use it the same time you do, you don't anymore have to wait for each other's turn. Okay, so I actually got two, I got two for us. I put it one in our where I work out, what I call man cave slash rec room slash gym slash bodega. In that other unit that we have. Okay, so anyway, now that's just my 2 cents worth as far as that back support is concerned, and also that sharing about the egg sitter that you can pair it with. So there, right? So because I'm sure they're also, the reason why I'm sharing it, because it's awful. It's really terrible to have back pain, and I can't imagine anyone not having it and not doing anything about it, not being able to do anything about it at home. So here I am sharing my own experience, and if you do get that, let me know also if it has also helped. You know what I do? I prop it up, by the way, the back support. I also usually put it on a hard surface, but what do you call that? Hold on. But what I do is I also prop it up against the pillow and arc my back there. Then I also just adjust it up or down, wherever I would need more relief and more release. Is that what you call that? So anyway, so there. Now, as I was moving on, okay, as I was looking for more segments that I can share with you, thoughts to ponder, I came across this article in Google. It's called, the title of the article is "The Precipitous Decline of EQ." So it caught my attention because it's because the increased negativity, has been around the world, is really alarming, and it also caught my attention because not observation that I have is these decrease in EQ is one of the opinions or observations that I have is related to the decrease of emotional quotient among the citizens of the earth. And lastly, it also concerns me because this incoming generation is growing up in this culture of negativity, and the most unfortunate thing is this generation will be the new leaders 10 to 20 years from now. So can you imagine if all of this generation and our leaders are very low EQ? Can you imagine they'll probably just push that button, that nuclear button, whenever they feel what they call that, whenever they get ticked off or pissed off. So not good. So anyway, true enough, as I suspect, the social media is a very big factor. It's not only a big factor, but it's actually very big medium. It's a big tool, or a big tool that has contributed greatly to the decline of self-control, well-being, emotionality, and sociability, right? So I guess, we get to tend to compare ourselves with whoever we see out there in our social media. So our inferiority complex can sometimes rise, right? Can be or rise or can be triggered, right? At any given time. It used to be that your insecurities are triggered every now and then whenever a situation arises. But now with social media, it can be triggered 24/7 or every time you go into your Facebook or IG or you go to Twitter, right? So anyway, back in the late 70s, guys, or 80s. So this actually reminds me of this, right? Then President Marcos banned Voltes 5 and I think similar shows, if I remember correctly. The ban was to prevent the growth and of violence and influence of violence among its young viewers. But let me just also say this equally, huh? We did then President Marcos also did retain Sesame Street and Electric Company and even Mork and Mindy. So there was no he was just he just I guess, nobody wants violence, right? So whether it was self-serving or not, we can't really self-serving decision for the then president, but the fact of the matter is Sesame Street was there. Okay, so these were the shows that made us think, right? It also grew EQ in us and also made us grew EQ and also intellect as well, if you ask me. Okay, so anyway, my point is similar. So, but my point here is, right, similar to the Voltes 5 ban or Voltes 5 potential influence of violence among the young viewers. This social media is like, a loud megaphone, right? That loud one that you don't just, hear, but it plants itself unconsciously and subconsciously. The negativity that we see there gets embedded unconsciously and subconsciously into our minds, into our hearts, right? It just, there's no we are on autopilot absorb there, no filter whatsoever. Okay, and since this is really accessible to everyone and we repeatedly use it and are repeatedly exposed to this, and since all of us have the maybe close to zero ability to filter, this has led to the rise of culture of negativity in many culture of negativity and yeah, I think especially where the culture is weak, right? The culture where our values and virtues are weak. But anyway, so I really worry about the future leaders, right? Coming from millennials or even Gen Z. It is sad to think that we could have it's sad to think that compared to our time that we could have a brittle generation, right? It's a very delicate, it's a very delicate, what do you call that? Predicament that the citizens of the world are in, right? So I want to say that I think, and if you ask, so I've been thinking, how do we prevent this, right? How do we, especially now with a lot of fake news, a lot of conspiracy theories, and people, not just heckling, but really, 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 really uh, tearing people through this social, tearing people down to the core, a fiber of their being, right? With these negative comments, negative comments. So I think what's the difference now? And I think what's now and then? Now I think we have to even get more, legitimate. We have to get more educated, okay, and we have to make sure that we have educated and the education that we must get was also become from legitimate sources, whether we are a student, a parent, a teacher, a professional. We need to continuously educate ourselves, okay, from legitimate sources, okay. And we can do this by really sticking to the classics, studying, reading, going through history, geography, even math, really, helping ourselves understand this, right? Also science, IT now, because we're in the information technology, logic, philo, culture, economics, and and social sciences as well. So at least read on this. Because I was trying to remember when I was a kid. How come I'm very inquisitive by nature? I'm very exploratory by nature. I don't really accept no as a response, especially when it comes to asking what if, right? And I remember when we were young, we had books that were my mom got us books like question and answer books, everything, little, it's like a little mini, an abridged encyclopedia of information, trivia, or sometimes, yeah, not just trivia, but um, information on history. So it's like a book of trivial pursuit. We also had Shakespeare, and mom even brought us to, my mom even brought us to watch Shakespeare when we were just 12 years old. I remember was lying down on the floor because it was black and white and it was also gory. But the thing was, so if you ask me, what makes us able to make better this to discern better, to have higher EQ, better to choose value over pettiness, diba? Virtue over inferiority. So these were the one we fed our minds and our we fed our minds, and also fed our hearts and our soul. Okay, so also read books, right? Great literatures and other not, comics is good because it's a lot of creativity there. Because I wouldn't, I do. I mean, these Marvel movies won't be there if it were not for Stan Lee, right? And the DC comic book comic writers. But you also have to balance it with literature. So even if Shakespeare is hard, read it. Don't just settle for Harry Potter, because Harry Potter is a what do you call that? No, novel. It's a novel, novel concept. But if you really want to learn about human nature and all that, go into the classic, Jane Eyre, writers of who else? I was even scavenging, looking for our books, and I found one. Anyway, philosophical something book. Imagine we had that when we were kids. I will show it to you next week. But anyway, also work on becoming an innovator, and or inventor, and also be entrepreneurial, because these are all areas of mental and emotional growth. So we need to keep expanding. So what I'm saying is, let's not just get stuck with where we are at. And if we are a parent, let's expose our children to, rather than the games and all these computer, or baby, using the computer for to babysit them, or the iPads or tablets to babysit our kids, or to just shut them up. I suggest we teach them to read. We really expose them to reading. Then, if you can do it now, expose them to mentorship and activities, right? Coaching activities. Our youngsters, and if we are in that lot, also we are in our early teenagers, or entering in our 20s, or between 20s to 30s, get coaches, or get coaching and get mentored. And of course, when you want to get coaches and mentored, make sure that they really walk the talk. Okay, a lot of people go into coaching because it's nice, but they're, where will they get experience from, except from experience of not really being a breakthrough person. So get coaches who are breakthrough individuals, of stories of success. No, not just, life skills. Okay. So anyway, and grow and keep growing. Don't be pusong mamon, I guess. Yeah, especially that cancel culture things. Kasi, you can't really trust that, as I said the last time, because all of us are all of us have inferiority. So at any given time, we can really be offended. So if that is our basis for coming up with a culture of just because we're sensitive about us, we are sorry, take that out. Just because we are easily offended, right? then then at any given time we can just flare what do you call that flare up. Okay, so we have to also choose which emotions we will invest in. Okay, so as I said, baka mas magandang hatakan pataas. Okay, so this is just I guess my 2 cents worth on how we can bring in EQ into the fold and into the coming and generations, diba? In all generations to come, because we really need that. If not, if you have such brittle generation, these are the future leaders of our country. Yeah. All right. So anyway, now since we are talking about EQ, you might be wondering what is EQ, and I'm sure you have an idea what it is, but let me just share. Right, I looked it up. So back in 1972, the marshmallow test was conducted in Stanford among kids. Okay, so these were like 3 years old, I think 5 years old, and they were left in the room for 15 minutes with either marshmallow or pretzel stick in the room, so they can choose whichever they want, right? But the instruction was they needed to wait till the instructors, I think, got back into the room. So if they needed to wait so that they can get 2 rewards. If they can't wait, they'll just get 1 reward. Okay, and so those who could wait, of course, gets 2 rewards. And the thing was, these were the interesting thing about this study was it was also a longitudinal study. So these kids were followed all the way till their adulthood, if I hope I remember correctly, right? And I think for 20 years, or not sure, those kids who waited for 2 rewards, later on grew up to be more successful than those who just went and grabbed the marshmallow or the pretzel. So or those who just got 1 reward. Okay, so it explains a lot because I grew up with very low EQ because parentless. I could do whatever when I was a kid. No, but so anyway, so now I'm paying for it. So touche. I am what we call an experiential learners, and experiential learners don't have EQs, and they learn and they become late bloomers later on. And that is me. Ding, 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 ding. But anyway, so if we understand about EQ, it can help us in our personal success and also in our personal development. Okay. So we can do this. I remember when I was getting into the training career, and I was handed a science book. This is actually an activity, each development activity for schools that can be implemented. Okay, and it has a lot of processing, right? So there's like a trigger and a sort of a synthesis after, so that kids understand and can learn, can grow to have empathy, right? And grow up kind, things like that. But anyway, but as an adult, right, can we still develop EQ? Of course. So it's really all about resetting our mental settings and our mental habits as well. So so in my case, I think I choose that on food I will have low EQ because it really soothes me. But now with this low back pain, and at the same time inflammation, signs of inflammation, I should rethink and should develop my food EQ on food as well. But anyway, so we can reset it, and a lot of the resetting of our EQ is not based on how we feel, but on how we use our heads to navigate, right, our situation, our circumstances, our emotions. There. Anyway, So it's not too late for us. So for all of you, if you are going in circles with your life, guys, look into your EQ, right? It might be the one that's crippling your life and causing intergenerational or long lasting and repeating or cyclic or repeating problems. Okay. So anyway, so now it's already 7:35, and I still have let's see, one more segment. I think I can still go over one more segment. Now, so since we are talking about EQ, Karen, I kind of have something to share. Hold a minute. So one of the ways I create my EQ in my life, especially when the routine gets too boring and threatens to derail me from my progress, is adding, okay, what I call spice of life into my activity. So for example, okay, so I'm giving you guys, this is the way that you can actually use our heads, right, to outsmart our emotions, right? Especially if it's not healthy for us, it's not contributing to our growth. So, for example, this week I had been a drag when it comes to my workout. So I should work out at least 3 times a week, and no longer than 2 days apart. And laziness, because I have this back pain, it's so easy to justify it. It's really laziness is just really out of the question. I'm already too invested. I love my workout, diba? I have fun in it. It just gets too routinary. And when I was reading this book, Atomic Habits, it did explain there that at some point when certain habits become boring. Okay, so I think I am in that situation now. So what I do is put rewards in the end. So for my gym routine, right? If I can make it one more week, I can now go and get my hair treatment, right? So I've been putting that off because it's pricey. Okay, so although I would love to have my hair treatment done every month, right? But I tend to still prioritize savings and I guess food and the expenses at home. So I tend to put myself last because I guess I have very high EQ, right? I have so anyway. So if I can, right, go a week, let's say straight, and or do an everyday workout, then I now can reward myself fine with that treatment, salon hair treatment, right? My salon date with myself. So those are the rewards, and that's exciting because I haven't gone to the salon for the last I think since June, July, August, September, October. Oh my God, it's already like 5 months. So you can imagine that's why this hair is always tied. So I spend a lot, maybe about 20 minutes fixing my hair just so it doesn't really look, like a jolted raccoon. so anyway, another thing that I also do when I'm is I take my book with me, Elon Musk book, right? So uh, one of the habits that I want to develop is to be able to read at least 10 pages of 3 times a week of that book. So finish the whole book right away because I tend to put it down a book and then get another one depending on what my interest is for the week. But I should be able to finish them. Then I also tend to not finish certain books because I only once I get the gist, I put it down already. So, but I don't want to do that, especially because if it's a personal investment, I have to also develop that habit of finishing the book, whether I like the rest of the concept or not. So, in my gym, one of the rewards I put there because I really like Elon Musk, right? I really like the story, his history, everything about him, what he does now. One of the rewards is it's like I treat myself to date with Elon Musk. So that's what I look forward to finishing my routine so that I can already jump into that quiet time a quiet time and reading and picking up the book and learning more about the life of Elon Musk, because it's really very inspiring. He's like, I thought Steve Jobs at that time, when I read that book, he was already um, the most, what do you call that, innovative, brilliant, innovative visionary, and then comes Elon Musk. So, but I wonder if I'm sure if Steve Jobs were alive, he would also have evolved, because he was. There's so many things that Steve Jobs has done, like the that we don't really know about. All we know about him is apples, but he was a kind of person who just picked up every interest also and grew them and developed them. But Elon Musk is now like 10 times or 20 times of Steve Jobs in terms of not being an innovator, and this guy really also has this stoic passion, undeterrable passion in him. Not relentless does not even begin to describe Elon Musk. So that's one of the rewards that I put. So it depends on you. It might not be a book. It may be a glass of taho after. It's up to you. So that's one of the things that I do to help me also build my EQ and build my EQ, because in developing your habit, you need a lot of EQ. And of course, you need your IQ to be able to put your emotions in place. Okay. So what else? So anyway, uh, so that's what I so that's how I contribute to my EQ development. It's nice. It's actually fun. You get to see how, that phrase in the Bible when you say we were created in the image and likeness of God. Where you are at, if you haven't really taken the steps to develop yourself and develop your life and develop your dreams, you you ain't seen nothing yet, kumbaga. Okay? So anyway, finally, we are now in our convo. Sorry, I really talk too much. I do, right? It comes with a job. I just have to fill up an hour of talk. Truth is, I'm really very scared of dead air. So imagine being on live stream and running out, or forgetting our next, running out of things to say, or forgetting our next line. No, 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 no. So what are we going to be talking about? Again, you know what? We're wrapping up 2021. So are you guys wrapping up 2021 already? Are you already prepping for 2022 and the next 100 years ahead, right? Why not, Shock Not? 1 year is too short. So you can't just prepare for 2022. You got to think long term. But it begins at 2022. Actually, 2022 begins now, just like my episode during the last quarter, last 2020, right? That November was already the beginning of 2021, or October. So anyway, so let's talk about being healthy. Okay, so you might say it's boring, but what if I told you that being healthy is synonymous also to wellness and well-being? Okay, so healthy is not just about eating right or exercising. Healthy is about having peace of mind and inner peace in every aspect or every corner of our lives, right? Every pillar of our lives must have peace of mind or inner peace. So when we truly ponder health in terms of wellness and well-being, if we think about it, we begin to delve more deeply into the meaning of these two side by side our life. If we're talking about wellness and well-being, how does that how does it how does it how does it weave or work into my life, and how does it define my life, or how does it make my life better? So you have to ask, right? What does wellness and well-being mean to you? Diba? What does it mean to you? And for me, I have to ask myself that also. So for 2022, I think these two can be the overarching guide, right? The overarching guide when it comes to a healthy life. A healthy life means a happy life, guys. So let us examine the areas of both wellness and well-being that we can integrate into our life, or the new life and new chapters that we want to grow starting this 2022. Okay, so let's define first wellness and well-being. In wellness, okay, I have two views on it. One that is pretty simplistic, which fortunately is same definition of psychology today. Okay, when we say wellness, it is the absence of disease or sickness. Okay, and when we're talking, that means we're talking about on the physical level. And my other view, the second view of what wellness is to me, it's the presence or the state of peace of mind and inner peace. Peace of mind is different. You know, you just have no noise, everything's just in place. But inner peace is whether there's noise around your life or noise in your head, that you are still inner peace in the constant state of peace spiritually and emotionally. That means you are like grounded. Okay. So in this case, my second definition of wellness, it now encompass mental, emotional, and spiritual. Now, well-being, on the other hand, for me, okay, I didn't anymore search any other definition, but it's the absence of threat or vulnerability to the aspects of our lives. Okay, so everything is in good place. In other words, so it is. It also means that it's uh, ab, uh, it means that we have wellness in control, or we have a certain sense of security. And for us to have both wellness and well being, guys, these are the following tips that, steps that you can take, especially for the coming year, so that you can start it on, so that you can have a good start. Okay. And I'm going to remind you, you have to begin now. Okay. If you want to reap its harvest in the years to come, because well-being, wellness, they're all processes. Okay. And they also will require a sense of development of habits, development of discipline, having a sense of this, and having a sense of discipline as well. Okay. Because if you have already discipline, then good. But you know what? Every time you improve, whether you have the, let's say, discipline to wake up early now, you just that gets challenged on the next goal. So you will have to keep improving what time and task management habit and discipline in every pursuit that you go for. Anyway, first, these are the steps. Okay, I'm gonna mention three. Make wellness and well-being your 2022 to 2027 project. So don't just make it 2022. Have there must be a starting point and of course a finish line, so you can measure your progress and also celebrate them. Okay, the timeline acts also as a commitment and a contract with ourselves. So if there's no timeline or timetable or schedule, it's just, yeah, what they say, a wish. You're not really committed. You're not really serious. Okay, and having a also the starting line and a finish line also upholds the relevance of wellness and well-being into our lives. That means that we know that we know by setting a deadline, we know that we that wellness and well-being are important components of our lives. Okay, so now a wellness and a well-being project covers categories, guys, and it also covers categories and activities in our lives that we want to do, be, and have. Okay, so it must have. So when you write out the categories, you have to write the general categories, right? The general category, and also personal categories under each general category. So you have the general categories, then the personal categories. Okay. So for example, the general category is health, right? The personal categories that now are the specifics. Okay. So this will include the disciplines that you may want to build in your life. So in my case, for example, weight loss, healthy eating, fitness and toning, self-care and spa, beauty and image. Okay, what else? I forgot there was one more that I wanted to add here. So you may copy that. Those can be your specific or personal categories under the health, under the general health category. So mine started with a typical, so here's the thing. As how mine got how my personal category got developed. It just as you pursue your wellness and your health goal, right, and health wellness, it you will discover that there are certain elements of health that you also want integrated into your life. So that's how mine evolved. So yours, you may copy this, diba, my personal category, or you some may not be relevant to you, and just add the ones that you may want, that you will discover along the way, that is most important to you. Okay, so there another example, of course, for general category is wealth. Okay, I began with savings and debt service. Debt service is very important. Okay, eventually, right, as I went through, I realized even if I want to pay my debt, but if I don't have money, even if I want to have savings, but if I don't have money, it's pointless. So my specific personal categories became make more, aside from savings and debt service. Then also there's business, there's investment, there's success setup, there's travel and recreation, shopping and leisure, retirement, as well as I already mentioned, families and communities. And same, right? You guys, as you take on the steps, you will also discover what is relevant and what is important to you. So you can make adjustment, add, and adjust to your wealth, general wealth category. Okay. So anyway, wellness and well-being reinforce each other, guys. If you notice, okay, when we work on the areas of our wellness, well-being is also achieved. Nice, right? So for your wellness and well-being project, identify the areas of your life that you want to heal and make great. Yun. So, step two, as you identify the areas, you will also see that all of them can be set into goals and plans. So, the second task that you must take on is make a list of activities that will help cultivate wellness and well being into your daily life. Don't choose all the easy tasks or action plans. Wellness and well-being also are disciplines, and work. Okay, work is a large part of it, inner work. Okay, so as you secure the areas of your wellness and well-being, guys, in your life, it will get difficult. Especially, I'm sure you let's say, for example, your part of your wealth category is to make more, right? If you will realize that making more is not, you will discover along the way that making more has a number to it, and that number will be dependent on your actual our ideal financial needs, not just what is defined by your minimum wage. Okay, so if you will discover along the way that aside from the usual bills, right, you also bills and tuition and food and utilities and everything, that you can actually have live in a better home, right? Live in a better rental, live in a better place, a better environment. So you will be able to define, and then you will also be able to realize that you don't have to settle for, let's say, public schools, that you could actually, that there is also a possibility, or that you can also go for make more, so that you can send make more goals, that you can also incorporate, I mean, private schools as part of your make more goals. So you will be able to now realize as you go on that you have your baseline where you are at now as far as make more is concerned, but there are also parang it's like the good, better, best lives for you. And from your baseline to the better life, to the for a baseline of good to the better life to the best life, each time that you go for each of those improvements, right, you will see that it will ask more of you. Okay, it will ask more of you emotionally, it will ask more of you mentally, and don't be discouraged. I mean, it's just a payoff, if payoff, if you want to live on the life of a minimum wage, and the payoff is your kids, you probably live in debt, right? cyclical debt, cyclical chronic debt, and that also gets passed on. Your kids will also live that way, and most likely you probably live with your in-laws or in a house where all your in-laws are there, and you don't want that because each one will have different value systems, and it can be a cause of conflict, right? So but that is what your current minimum wage income can only do for you. And the thing is, you have more emotional hang-ups there, and that are wounding, right? If you stay there, but if you so it's still, in other words, you still work emotionally, but this time it's just more wounding. Whereas if you move from minimum wage life to let's say 60,000 life, still minimum, family of three, or to 60,000 per month life, which is, let's say, if you're operating on 15,000 to 60,000, then you can now provide better. So it will be emotionally difficult too. It will still be an emotional what do you call that, investment, but at least it's not wounding, diba? It's not a it's not unnecessary. It's not an unnecessary wounding. Unlike if you were living with your in-laws, or if you are always in chronic debt, like that. Okay, so it will. So when it comes to taking on activities for your wellness, right, and well-being, don't just go for the easy task. You have to also face the music, and go for tasks that really bring home the bring you close, bring you to your goal, bring you closer to your goal, or bring home the bacon, whatever that is, right? So accept that it will be difficult. Then again, this is where your IQ, navigating or EQ, or partnering up, or improving or hardening up your EQ comes in. Okay, so what I promise you is, even if it's going to be difficult, no, don't be discouraged. Take time to rest or heal, and then get back up again. Because you know what? All the work will all be worth it. They will all be very, very, very rewarding. Okay? Now, last, have reinforcement tools. Last step for each area. As we try to create a better faces in our lives, we're going to be met with a lot of resistance from our own typical behavioral, mental, and emotional programs, our own demons and dramas. Okay, many of our demons and dramas, our inner resistance, abhor change. We hate it. Okay, so the new us will be very, very weak. Think of it as an embryonic stage. Okay, we are powerless from the typical, as an embryo stage of when we are changing, we are powerless from the typical forces within us. So make sure, guys, okay, that you have the following books related to the areas of development that you are uh, uh, trying to plant or build in within you. Have meditation lifestyle, motivational videos, and audio, again, one that reinforces the areas of the development that you are working on. You must also have a vision board of your do, be, and have. You know, usually they say be, do, and have, but it's usually do before you can become be, because our beingness right now, especially when we need to change, we are at our worst. We are lazy, we procrastinate, we have so many excuses. So our goal is to do first, take actions against our current beingness, so that we can become the next version 2.0 that we want, and that version 2.0 can have better haves, better situation, better circumstances. So anyway, have a vision board of your do, be, and have. What were you doing if you are already a great person? Have wellness and well-being in your life. What is your beingness when you're there? Are you kinder? Are you a philanthropist this time, right? And what is your have once you already have your wellness and well-being? Oh, I probably have my G5, my planes, right? My airplanes. I'll probably also be a pilot. Will have my pilot's license. That's my have. And my B, I will be more disciplined. I'll be more successful. And my do, I'm hardworking, and I see myself in my office, around the world. That's my do. So come up with your vision board. What's yours? Okay. What you can also do is enroll online for your learning online, because there are a lot of online enroll on in online learning platforms. Now everything can be learned. Don't just settle for YouTube. If you don't have money, you can start with that. Okay, but for more growth, I suggest you look, if you can afford it. Udemy, they offer only sometimes $10. This is 400, and it's a class that you can keep going back to. And if you can get a coach or a mentor in areas that you want to develop as well, do that. Okay. Make sure, as I said, that the coach that you mentor or you walk is a walk the talk kind of mentor. Okay. So anyway, so it's already 8 o'clock. So I'm wrapping up all the steps there. Again, diba, have a wellness and well-being project for 2022. Have your reinforcement tools, and at the same time, I mean, identify the areas that can be turned into goals and plans, and then have your reinforcement tools. Okay. So anyway, there are a lot more when it comes to working on our wellness and our well-being, and many you will encounter along the way and adapt on our own. Okay. Adopt on our own. So these three above that I mentioned is what I call a startup kit. Okay. If you notice, each step I laid out gives you a very big clue or a very big picture into the greater you that you can become. Okay, every step ends mediocrity and averageness. And you know what they say about that? What that says about us, that we are truly made in the image and likeness of our Creator. Okay, perfection is a seed planted in each one. We can't achieve wellness and well-being without transformation. So if we're still unchanged and living below the state of wellness and well-being, that could only mean that we are taking ourselves, our lives, even our loved ones' lives for granted. Okay? So don't take you for granted. Work on your wellness and well-being starting this 2022. Okay? So this is DJ Chin. I'm saying good night, guys, and I'm going to see you again next Saturday. I hope today was a fun episode for all of you. That's it. And this is me saying good night and thank you very much.